Hello everyone. So I will be explaining how my project called Meraki API automation works. We will look at how it is set up, and then we will look for what are the components it required to run, and then maybe we'll give a quick demo if my machine helps. My machine keep crashing because it's a lot of heavy software involved. So I will try my best to do the demo. So here is the broken down architecture for how the solution is designed. So in this there are there are two project there is one solution contain two projects. The first project called Meraki API automation. In this contain all of this the pink components. So as you can see here, there is the important thing. Like we start from here, that I use the Android and or iOS drivers. So these drivers are coming from Appium, and then I wrote a driver wrapper that will allow us to write the control use this library for any operating system, like for example Android or iOS. You can add Windows mobile system as well. And then this driver wrapper is used in the controls. What are these controls? Let's take a look. The controls here are nothing but just the basic controls, like a button, image, label, text box, trigger button, etc. So what do? They contains nothing. They are just holders that just give us the functionality for the user, and then clarity to the user, like what is the component represent. Not just the control, but we give the names to it. So buttons or labels or any other thing. And then once we have all the controls in place, these controls can be used in the page. What are these pages? These pages are nothing but the mobile app, actual mobile app page of Meraki. So for example, that you see here on the mobile, like they have the login page, and then the list of wireless networks, and then if you click on that, then you get the wireless network detail. So so here that captures all the pages information. So let's look at one of the page that it's easier for us to understand. So here I have this login page. On this login page, it says I have two controls. One control is a text box. Another one is a button. And then, as you can see here, they control creating a Meraki text box, as we just saw the control that we created in the control section. So we just simply say we pass the driver, and then we give the identifier which control need to identify on this page. This is like one thing to note here. As you can see, I said driver. I did not said which driver to use, because this is control. Like this driver come from the test. So the test will tell the library what driver to use. So like we don't so the underlying architecture will remain same. Only the test component will adjust itself to run which library, which operating system to run, or OS, the Windows or iOS or Android. So this is similarly like the networks page. In the networks, as you can see, there are list of networks, and then there's a title on top of that, and there are some helper functions which will give us a list of networks, or will check whether the network exists or not, and then in the network, like in the network section, there are three components there. There is an image, and there is a label which is a device name, and then there's a device detail, like for example IP address and stuff like that. That's our pages. These pages then uses these pages are broke down, as you have seen. They have like labels, and the buttons is based on POM object model, which is like a slightly advanced version. I wrote this methodology a few years back, how effectively break down the pages in a way that easily maintainable and easy consumable. So if you are interested, this is in my it's in my repository. Meet me in the middle, where I explain how people can break down the large or complex pages into small manageable sections and then put it in one component. So here we finish the pages at the bottom. Excuse me, and then there's a test that we run using these pages. So this is where all magic happens. So when you come here, if you look at that, there are two projects here. So this is the project I mentioned, this which contain all the tests. So here is the test. Let's look at one test. How this test. First of all, how the Android or iOS is set to run the test. So in here. If we go to the test project, and there is this called app config. App config will tell the architecture to what IP address to the APM to run, or what platform, which is the Android driver, or if you want to iOS, just change this to iOS, and then of course these are just static names. What device, what platform, and then so on and so forth. These are the only settings we need to change each time. We can have a separate config for the Android, separate config for the iOS. So based on the config selection, the tests will run. So if you can see here, the tests are completely independent of where they're running. The tests will not require any adjustment when we run the test. So in here, let's look at this one example where we are verifying network by name. So the test is trying to check whether the given network exists in a list of networks. So this is a test method, and I said do not parallelize because I don't have a parallelize enable, and then we are using one device. So if these two tests run together, they're both gonna fail. So first we will call the page login. This is similarly to what we have in the app. So in the app, it's you go to the page login and you set the secret key. So as you can see here, I don't have any identifier here because I already defined everything in my page. So the page knows how to deal with that. So I just say page login, the login page, the text box. Give me the API key text box and set the secret key in there. And then the secret key, I will click the secret key after adding the API key. It will return me a page. This is a very interesting thing to note. You see here, if I click the button go, and then it will returning me a network page. How is that happening? Let's take a look at that here. The controls, if we go back here, this control I have one special control called Meraki trigger button, and it's a generic control. What it does, it takes the input and a parameter and expect what to return. So what we are saying, when you click this button, you click the element and wait for a bit because it's loading. We need to do some dynamic way, but for now, for the demo purpose, I just set it to 7 seconds. Once we log in, it will create the instance of the second page, which is the network list page for us, and return it. So we don't immediately start accessing the page. It will handle it under the hood. So it's here. So once we have the page, of course, in the page itself, I can get the network list. If you remember, if you remember, the network page contains a method called check network exist by name. So if you provide the name, it will tell us whether the network exists or not. That's how it will return true or false. If it is false, it will tell us this network not found. Otherwise, it's true. And because we are expecting this network to be exist, it should pass. One last thing to note here. like how I did the wrapper thing. So like this is the wrapper. So the tests will only know the driver, this driver. They don't know anything else. They just know this driver. And then these two wrappers, the APM, the Android and iOS driver. So if you look at the Android driver, they are implementing Android driver with Android element and the iDriver. So every time when I pass this, I will just simply pass the iDriver, and then it will give me underlying functionality, whether it's Android or iOS. There are some settings here how I run I make sure the environment variables are set up, or how the APM has been run. We don't have to run this manually. It will does it on its own. It's just basically a command prompt. It will open a command prompt, then the APM/IP address, and then the port. And then I did this allow cross origin reference to be enabled, because we are trying to I was trying to debug that. So just make sure to disable it if you ever wanted to use it. And this is the base path. That's just saying, just try to avoid the extended path here. I just added the base path, so it will be like http/localhost at the port number. And then there is this get driver will return. This is the part where we would see the get driver will return the first it will start the APM, and then it will create the driver. It does not it gets the driver name from the this platform name. This platform name will determine what platform it is running. So if you change the app settings, if you remember, if I remember, I mentioned that in here, app settings, app config. In here we have this called platform name. So this platform name, so platform type. Sorry, platform type. If you change the platform type to whatever, it will does the job for running tests in any environment. So that's about it. If you have any question, please feel free to let me know. I spent quite a time on that. I hope things are okay. I mean, like, yeah, that's about it. Thank you.